Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to get started. Oh, we have so many people here. God, I love that. I love it when you come. Just makes my little sacral soul happy. So fun to see your faces. Love it. Love it. Love it. I'm going to wait just a couple minutes and because I know a few people said they were going to be a little bit late, but we'll give it like a minute or two and let people come in. If you want to drop in the chat what your human design
Oh,
type
why is it not
is
working?
and anything else, like where in the world you are, maybe that.
Working.
I
I'm
am
going
in,
to
um, yes, we are recording and there will be a replay going out. Are you recording it on your computer? I didn't know you could do that. Hmm, okay. Yeah, tell me where in the world you are. We are in Colorado, up in the mountains, so it's cold right now. I live in sweaters. And National MG. Ooh, cool. Upstate New York. Love it. Love it. Cool. And it is just me, so I am going to be admitting people and doing all the things all at once. So bear with me. All right. I think Nashville, Tennessee. My husband and I were just talking about going to Nashville as an anniversary trip to do like, we love to drink whiskey. So we do like a whiskey tour of like that area. I think that would be fun. Utah. Oh, I love Utah. Utah. Beautiful. Okay. All right. Well, let's kick the show off. I am going to share screen and I will also be sending out the replay and the slideshow. So no worries there. You will get all of it because I know people like to have the slideshow. So, I'm so excited to talk about this. I've done this workshop in various forms a couple different times now, and I think every time it gets a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better. And today, I think, I don't know, it's the pinnacle. I love it. Okay. To get started, I just want you to know and keep three things in mind today. And that is you are the only one that can decide what's going to work. I have an open head, open agenda. I know so many things can work. All the things can work if you believe they work. And when it comes to messaging, it is very much true as well that when you believe that you are confident in your message and you believe that this is the thing you're here to share and it's going to work. It is ultimately going to work. There is nothing that you should do or have to do in order for it to work. Your energy is the most important piece of this equation always. And we're going to infuse your energy into your messaging so that it feels more like you. It's not cut and paste from a generator strategy if you're a projector or a manifestor or whatever. And you're a badass. The world needs more of you. So you're here though, because you're really good at what you do, but you have a hard time articulating it. And to new people or on social media, like you know that you're really good at what you do, but it's hard to articulate it. You're struggling to stand out and be known for your genius, which makes growing your business even harder, right? Oh, more people. You're done second guessing yourself and overthinking your messaging. It's time to learn this skill, and it is a skill. Messaging is one of those things that it doesn't matter if you're product based, service based. If you have a business, you need to understand how to communicate what it is you do and why people need to buy from you. So it's one of those things you just have to learn as a business owner. You love the idea of incorporating human design into your messaging because other strategies have felt forced, wrong, just like a wool sweater in the summertime. Like you just don't want to go there. Oh, more people. if we haven't met or you're new in my world, I'm Rachel. I blend human design and copywriting and lots of other things too, attraction marketing, energetics, all the things, but primarily it's human design copywriting for primarily spiritual entrepreneurs, because you are my people. I love you. I love the work that you do and the ripple effect that you have in the world. I am a 4/6 Manny Gen and the cross of tension. Not something that I loved in the beginning of understanding my own human design, because it can be edgy for people, edgy for myself as well. But I've learned to embrace it and love that I can make things a little edgy and it pushes you to be your best self. Ultimately, I want to help you calibrate everything in your life and your messaging to what you came here to say and be able to grow your business in a way that feels really good for you. And like I said, we live in the mountains of Colorado. We homeschool our kids, all the things, like true Manny Gen doing all the things. Okay, so getting into today, and I want to mention also that I will be talking about an opportunity to work together more at the end of this. But today I wanted to give you enough information that you can implement it into your business just from today, but not so much that you're overwhelmed. There can be a lot, like you've all looked at a human design chart and went, holy shit, there's so much here. Same with copy. Like you can go, holy shit, there's so much here. What do you actually need to know? And I want to give you some nuggets today to take away to hopefully put into your messaging and be able to see a difference in people reaching out to you, people commenting, people just coming into your world in a way that they weren't before. Okay. So we're talking about unique selling point, throat center, Mercury gate, and dreamboat client language. Okay, so if you haven't done already, let me know what your human design type is in the comments. Where did my comments section go? Because we're talking about your human design type first off. Oh, dude, have a great, I think Nashville would be so much fun. I have not been. Oregon, another Oregon. We're actually going to Oregon this summer. Montana, oh, Wyoming, love it. Sweet. Again. Oh yeah, is everybody muted? Let's make sure we got that. Good point. Okay. Let's move on. All right, manifestors. So you are polarizing. And the thing that I see most manifestors not doing, or when their messaging isn't landing, is they're not embracing this big polarizing energy that they are. They are making themselves small. And when they do that, they are actually repelling the dream clients and attracting the ones that are draining and annoying. You have to look at your energy and go, I love my energy and I'm going to be big. I'm going to take up space, right? And manifestors are known for their vision. Where are you taking people? Are you, and the analogy I like to use with manifestors is that it's like a train. Your offers are train stations along the way, and they're all leading to a vision. So they are getting closer and closer to this big vision that you have for your, you call it your niche, the place that you want to make a difference, right? And you don't have to be all the way to the vision to help people at train stations behind you. It's just at least one or two train stations further ahead and closer to that destination. Does that make sense? So your messaging is bold statements. It's like, it's on the edge. It's pushing people in their edge even, right? Making bold statements, being big and taking up that space, sharing your story, initiating and saying, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm creating, and not watering down your personality. When you, like I said before, like manifestors are, if they are deeply conditioned, they will want to be small. They won't want to step out and be seen and be the big energy that they are. But the moment that they do is when they start really calling in big things and the people that they want to really Sorry.
Okay, put your feet
The
in with
people that
your
they
shoes
really
without the
want in
socks.
their life. They're dreamy boat clients, right? And the piece that another thing that we can look at when we're writing and when we want to feel into, is this actually me, is looking at your signature themes from human design. So manifestors is peace. If your writing feels like this is like, it feels peaceful within you, it's giving peace to other people, you're leading them to this destination and they feel the peace in that. They feel that they are being guided and they will be able to get to that destination, right? Leaning into what that signature theme is for your type. Okay, questions. Ooh. Okay, generators. You're here to master a system or a process of some kind. So it's always honed. It's always being honed and you're always adding more to it, but ultimately you're here to master a process. So what does that look like for you? It's a repeatable thing that goes over and over and over and becomes honed with each time that you do it, thinking of launching over and over again or offering a program over and over again. Each iteration gets better and better and better. People want that process. Like that's what you're known for, is that repeatable process. So things to keep in mind with your messaging is keeping it conversational, like that sacral, yes or no. And just asking people, do you agree? Or what do you, those yes, no type questions. And then talking about your process. Now, when we get into the ideal client or dreamy boat clients language, I have a little caveat to this in that it's not just about the process. But for this core messaging piece, this what you're known for, your unique selling point, it is about the process. That is what you're known for. And then the most important piece is satisfaction. The thing that I see a lot of generators doing is doing things out of the shoulds. I should write like this. I should create offers like this. And that gets you into like the frustrating territory where why isn't this working? It's not working because you're in a should. You're not doing it from what lights you up. You're doing it from people pleasing or overthinking or those types of things, and that will only lead to frustration. So it's understanding where are you shoulding in terms of your messaging and your offers, and switching that to what would just feel really good to offer, what would feel really good to talk about, and going with that. Okay. Questions, and stop me if you have questions. Type them in the chat. Okay, projectors, you have a unique way of seeing, and the bitterness comes out when people don't see you, right? You don't feel validated in when you're going out and trying to make people see you. Like that is the biggest thing that I see most projectors is they're looking for validation in their writing and in their content instead of using your social media as a visibility platform. You're just out there doing what you love, sharing what you love, and not seeking validation in any of it. You know that your shit is good. Like there's no one needs to tell you that. You already know, right? You come with that leadership, with that energy of, I know I'm really good. Do you want to be a part of this? Do you want to have my guidance, right? And your unique selling point is on your system. Now, it's different than method. Generators and many gens are more method. It's step 1, step 2, step 3. A projector's system is more like a tabletop is the result, and you have 3 legs underneath that table. You have to understand all 3, but they don't have to be in any order. And you maybe go from like 1 to 2, then back to 1, then over to 3. And there isn't a linear process. It's a system. You have to understand all 3 to get the result, but you don't have to do it in a specific order. Does that make sense? So that's the difference between the method and the system for projectors. It could be a system that is already out there, like human design or astrology, but it could also be your own unique system that you created when you healed something, achieved something, did something yourself. You created your own system to achieve, and that can work as well. Your messaging is focused on your story and the system that you've created or that you are the master of, right? How can you show that you how can you show that you see and understand other people, right? You want them to see and understand you. Do that in reflection to them. How do you see and understand your own audience and really understand them, right? Make them feel seen and heard, and then the invitations start to come from that, as well as not necessarily wait. Like, you don't have to wait to share what you love. You don't have to wait to share your offers. Like, that goes without saying. You get to share it no matter what. You're waiting for the invitation to guide someone. So a lot of times with projectors, I'll have them ask questions to preempt people, like, would you want help with this? And would you, what if you could do or achieve this? Would you want to do it with assistance or something like that, where it invites them to say yes and go, oh yeah, I actually would really like your help with this. This is really great for projectors that love to offer advice without the invitation. And it cuts a lot of the bitterness away, because they're always trying to give away their advice and nobody really wants to hear it. Ask first. Allow people to say yes. And you're looking for your success. Making your success is your version of it. No one else's. It's not a Jen's or a Manny Jen's or manifestors. Like, it's your version of success, right? Really defining that for yourself. Okay. Manny Jen's. Gosh, we are the lightning bolts. We are the crazy ones. We are the unrealistic ones. We are designed to do multiple things, but they have to be in alignment. It has to come from your own intuition, your own either sacral or solar plex authority, that this is what you should be doing. And being mindful that you can, the thing that I see most many gens getting tripped up on is you're changing your mind too much. And I'm guilty of this myself, but it's when you commit to something, and it's only committing. I mean, I do commitments of like 6 months. I'm committing to this thing for 6 months, and I'm going to see where it gets me. And when I do that, I have quantum leaped. I have like accomplished so much in that short amount of time because I committed, instead of going, oh, well, I'll try this and don't get immediate feedback. So I guess it's not working, and then jumping ship to something else. That is the kiss of death for a Manny Gen. Don't do it. Your messaging is the same. We have to figure out what we're combining. Your unique selling point is what you're combining to help people skip steps, to blaze a trail, to do something differently. What are these passions that you're bringing together? They don't have to be all of your passions, just the ones that make sense to go together. And you're like, no one's doing this. Why has no one thought of putting these things together yet? They need to go together. And prioritizing joy and fun. The more fun you have, the more that you are magnetic and people enjoy being around you and want to be around you. And that most important piece, again, is that satisfaction, feeling satisfied with what you're writing, with the offers that you have. If you're not a pure Manny Gen, do you utilize a different strategy, or does that not really make sense? Not a pure, if you don't have the 2034 channel. I'm not a pure Manny Gen in that regard. And I live by, like, I'm a Manny Gen. I blend things. I generally, I wouldn't say I am ADHD, but I can get distracted easily. I think we all get distracted easily. Right. And anytime that I have just let things, I guess if you're responding to life and you're just kind of in this airy fairy, I'm just going to wait and see what the universe brings to me, you will end up all over the place. And sometimes that's a benefit. Like, you go down rabbit holes as a Manny Gen, a lot of times that don't end anywhere, but you pull out some nugget out of it. But when you can set that destination saying 6 months, this is what I'm committing to, this is what I'm going to learn, this is what I'm devoting to, you will see huge leaps in your knowledge, in your abilities, and in being able to reach your goals. Does that make sense? Cool. I'm launching a podcast that combines my HD knowledge with the love of music and asking lots of questions. Oh, I love that, Anna. That's perfect. Yeah. Oh, I think you emailed me. Yes. And I love that you're blending in music and how music affects us. Oh, I love that. So cool. And then reflectors. So you are truly the unique, beautiful energies, right? You're born with a special attunement to the universe and what's going on around you. And it's the biggest piece that I see reflectors getting caught up in is feeling like they have to do business the way other people do, or the way that other people offer things. And you're meant to be fluid. You're meant to change things when you need to change things, but also create the business the way you want to create it. You're like the chameleon, really. So you're looking at your audience and your environment, and you're looking at what needs to be attuned, what needs to be shifted, and using your own wise energy attunement to give your wisdom, right? And it's creating a community around that want you there, that want you a part, and they want your wisdom. Question. When you talked about generators being all about the process, does it mean that my messaging is more aligned if I share the process of what I'm doing rather than the results? Or does it mean that I have to have a very structured process? Kind of both. Okay. So when we're talking about an offer, it is different than core messaging. We have core messaging, which is what you're known for. That thing when somebody hears your name, they go, oh, that. And usually it's something very short and simple, right? Manifestors, the vision, generators, the process, whatever that is, naming it, right? And when we're talking about an offer, that's when we get into, well, what is the result? What is the problem that we're solving? Who is this for? That's different, right? Your offers are going to have an element of your unique selling point because this is what you're known for. So it could have the whole method in that offer. It could have a part of the method in the offer, but you're going to be talking the results when you're talking about an offer. Does that make sense? And the second question of, do you have to have a very structured process to achieve results? No, you just have to have some type of process that is like unique to you. I spent a lot of time really refining a copy by design process. And I would say now that I've backed off and it's more of a vague process. We need to know this, and then we need to go to this, and then we go to this, right? It's not super, super refined in terms of like exactly what we're doing in each step. It's more broad. So I don't think you have to have a very structured process. I think you just need to have some type of process. Oh, perfect. Good. We see the generator messaging everywhere. We do. Yep. Especially in the healing and coaching world. Just pay attention when you see ads, your feeds. Yes, absolutely. It's prolific. And to be honest, it's fine. It works for generators. It works really, really well for them. It doesn't work for a lot of the other types. The other types get frustrated with it and don't like it, feel boxed in, and then feel like they can't be successful because they can't do it that way. And the whole point of human design is understanding how your energy works and how it doesn't, like, you can do it your way, right? Do many gens? Yes. So I do have a process. Again, it's kind of vague, but it's there. It is, we're going to first understand your energy, then we're going to figure out what your unique selling point is, and then we're applying it to the rest of your messaging. In a nutshell, that's what my process is. It helps. And I will say that the process helps you understand your client journey. So when you start thinking about laying out an offer suite, it's super, super helpful to have that process. And then you can lead people through from one end to the other. And you can have lower ticket offers mid-tier offers, high ticket offers. It makes the whole process a little bit easier and it doesn't feel as chaotic. That being said, I have worked with many gens where they didn't necessarily have a process and we had more like choose your own adventure type structure to their offer suite. So it can be done. You just have to be mindful of it. We're always streamlining, make it faster, more efficient. Totally. Totally. So reflectors, your most important piece is surprise and delight. Like the more that you can just feel delighted in what you're doing, delighted in who you're working with, delighted with your offers, the more magnetic you will be. Okay. Whew. I got a case study for you. So Danielle, it was a 3-5 mini gen. One of those mini gens doing all the things. She had all kinds of different sessions, Toro, dowsing, like all of it, kind of all over. Everyone got different results because of it. But what she really loved was helping people trust their intuition. When it came down to the bare bones, like that's what she loved to do. So creating a USP around blending these different things, the Toro, the dowsing, the card pulling, these different pieces are actually helping people trust their intuition. It's backing up their intuition. They know the answer already, but those things help back them up and give them that extra like validation until they can truly trust their intuition, right? So reworking her messaging to blend those different modalities to help people make better decisions and stop second guessing themselves. Ultimately, they live happier and more productive lives. She's now doing great with one-to-one clients and building on her group program. This is why I said it, because I do not identify with most people are doing it, and frustrates me that everyone is doing and saying the exact same thing. Yeah, there's so much of that. And honestly, as a caveat, little like tangent right now with this is a lot of messaging over the last few years has been more high level. It's been very focused on the desire. Like you just want this desire and you're struggling in this pain. And that's not working anymore. And a lot of big name coaches, some are saying it, some are not, haven't done that well this last year. This last year was a struggle because the messaging, like the whole strategy around everything has changed. And I believe that it's changing, that we need to be more of ourselves. We need to be able to communicate the way we want to, structure the way we want to. And when we get to the dreamy client language, using different questions to get at what we're selling, the problem that we're solving, and the solution that we're providing. Whew. Okay. I need a drink. Okay. Throat activations. This is, so if you've studied human design, throat activations are how the energy is moving through your chart to get to your throat and to make manifest, as Ra says. And that's how I look at a chart, is how is the energy in your chart moving and trying to get to your throat? Is there missing gate, not missing gates, but like you don't have a channel to your throat, so it's blocked in terms of like the energy not having a clear way to get there? Or does your definition have conditioning behind it? Because that can happen as well. So I want to talk about the throat center because it's really, really important, obviously, to messaging. And I'm starting with the undefined throat because I think they are they don't give themselves enough credit. I believe the undefined throat is incredibly magnetic and it's a superpower. Why? Because any of the white centers in your chart are where you take in the energy of others and you amplify it back out. Meaning you're able to like take in what other people are saying and like parrot it back, reflect it back to them in a way that they feel very seen and very validated. You are the people that are like, oh my God, you just repeat back what they say. And they're like, yes, you get it. You totally get me. Right. And you didn't do anything other than repeat back what they said. Like that's the power of the undefined throat. You have a wide range of ways of speaking, And the one thing I always tell undefined throats people is that to pay attention to when you're around other people, if you feel like you have something else to say, or if you're able to access something that you don't normally feel comfortable talking about. It could be your ideas, it could be something intuitive, it could be your emotions, things like that, because they could be, that other person could be connecting a channel for you to your throat, making it easier to speak about those things. So it's just something that's fun to play with and to notice within yourself. And your voice comes from stillness. The thing with the open throat is that it feels a pressure to speak. If I don't speak, no one will hear me. That is the big thing that I hear with undefined throat. If I don't say this, no one will hear me. Or they try to say something and they're like, no one freaking listens. I said it. I think my husband said this because he's an undefined throat. He was like, I'll, suggest something in a meeting and no one will listen. And then 2 minutes later, someone else says the exact same thing. And they're like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. And he's like, like that's the classic undefined throat, is that people aren't listening, right? And you can look to your hanging gates to understand the energy better of what you want to say. So if you have any of these hanging gates in your throat, that means it's colored in, but it doesn't have anything on the other end. It's not connected. You can start to, like, if you have gate 62, you can go, I think this might work. Or, if you want to like interject something, if you don't have, because the undefined throat is better when it's invited to speak. But again, like we're not waiting around for anything on social media. We're not waiting around to share our offers. We're not waiting around to be invited to speak on social media. So using your hanging gates can be like that foot in the door, so to speak. Or you don't have any, then you can look at the people around you. It can feel into it too. Like, not saying you have to pull everyone's chart around you, but pay attention to how you feel. Like, do you feel like, ooh, I wonder if I remember an experience, or if something like that. Or you can look at the transit gates for the week. You can look at the sun gate and where the sun is. It obviously will go through these gates eventually. And so maybe that week, maybe it's gate 16 that week, and you're talking about what you're experimenting with and what you're working on, that kind of thing. The other thing with the totally open throat is that it is very, very intuitive. It's a channel. You have the ability to channel, like verbally channel. I'm trying to think of who it was that was like a really famous channeler of Seth Speaks, I think. I don't know if you guys have heard the Seth books. I believe the guy that channeled Seth was a totally open throat. So something like you're like the channel to the universe with that totally open throat, because there's nothing there. You have no definition. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. Oh yeah. Yeah. The undefined, Seth Speaks. No, Seth Speaks I swore it was a guy. Or maybe it was the Z's. There's the Z's too. Maybe that's the one I'm thinking of. There's so many. I find those books fascinating. Anyway. Okay. Moving on to the defined throat. I pause. So gate 12, that is actually my Mercury gate. And I call it the pause. It actually says like, I may or may not, I think, in the text, but I use it as I pause, because gate 12 it needs to be ready to speak. So if you feel like there's a knot in your throat and you're like, I want to talk about that, but I'm not quite ready, that's the pause. You see, the pause, I do it too. There's always something to be said about your topic or what your expertise is. Maybe that one particular spot though is still a little sticky and you're not quite ready to talk about it. So it's kind of honoring that pause and knowing that you have the words in you. It just might take a moment for it to come. So it's like a pause, right? It's also considered a channel. The channel energy is the name of the, not the channel energy. It's called the channel is gate 12. So it's also a energy that you can channel, but you have to be very present and very mindful of it. Cool. Okay. Defined throat. You have a consistent way of speaking. There is a definition, and not to say that you can't deviate from this, you can. This is just the way that it's going to feel the most comfortable, come out the best, and be most you, right? So it's when you can speak from that higher self. You have access to this defined channel. So we're going to get in the next slide. I'll show you where those channels are. Ooh, 2343. I love that channel. That is an outside of the box channel. I'm seeing that channel more and more. It's outside of the box thinking is what that specific channel is. And you have a confidence with your voice that an undefined throat does not. So when someone with a defined throat speaks, people generally listen for the most part. I mean, you may have those times where you spoke out of turn, but people inherently listen when you have a defined throat. And you can also empower those around you when you use your voice. You empower their voice and their truth by you being your confident self with your voice. And you create, thinking about your content, creating content from this defined throat as well. Like, how can you use this energy all over in your business to speak and to share your message? So I'm not going to get into every specific channel. That is a lot. I do that in the Magnetic Messaging Club. But I will be talking about, we can go through the different centers because that is obviously going to shape the energy and what you're talking about. These specific channels, though, we go into deeper inside the program. That's what I do. I tell them when I see them. Oh, I love that, Lisa. If you're connected to the ajna, so here's our throat. Ajna is up here, right? Ajna is all about conceptualizing ideas. And so any one of these three channels is going to be sharing your ideas and how you think about things. You have a defined ajna. The way you think about things is really, really important. Sharing that, right? And the way that it's done is different with each channel. Like one's parables, one's more that 2343, it's all outside of the box thinking. The other one's very conceptual. This is how I think energy. But it's how you think. That's what I want you to say. Like, how do I think about this? That's important. If you have any one of those three channels.
Text the call daddy and see if he's coming.
Oh.
He probably forgot you.
The G center of the word excited. I mean, you are excited, Anna. That's what that, I mean, 3420. I love it. Okay. The G center, here's our G center here. Love and identity. Oh my gosh. It's so much about identity with the G center and being who you are. If you have any one of these three channels, it's leadership. It's being who you are, being that fullest expression of who you are, whatever that means to you. Those are the important pieces if you're connected to your G center. Okay. The sacral, so that's this guy coming down. If that is you, it's sharing joy that lights you up, that excitement, what's drawing to you. The more that you are just unapologetically excited about things, the more that you're going to draw to you. The spleen, this guy, this is my connection over here. It's connected to the divine, and it needs to be present. The one thing I've noticed with my own channel is that I really do have to be present and not like, if I want to write something, I can't be scrolling Instagram and consuming content before I write, because that will inevitably mess me up. I need to be present to my own life, what I want to say, what my message, what I'm here to do, and then I can write and channel, right? So it's very much in the moment. The solar plexus, this guy over here, emotions. Oh my gosh, if you have a defined solar plex, talk about your emotions, please. Embody those emotions, put them in, talk about, connect to other people's emotions. Like you have a consistent way of working through emotions that a lot of the population doesn't understand. And you can give that to them. You can give so many defined solar plex people. I really encourage you to do something with emotions. And I think pretty much all of the people that have come to me with the defined emotions or defined solar plex have some vein of emotions in their work. Something in their process or method or vision talks about emotions. And then the will center, this guy right here, one channel. If you have that channel, it is all about what you want, not only for yourself, but other people. It's material plane. It's like helping everyone get the resources that they want. What do you want? Speaking your desires is super important. So that is defined through, oh, I got a message. Huh. I have completely open solar plex. My process is all about emotions, no connection to. Ooh, that's cool though too. If you're totally open, that makes sense. Again, going back to like the totally open throat. When you have no gates in there, it's totally open. Oh, is my internet okay? Did I freeze? Okay. Just said that my internet was unstable. I'm back. Am I back? Yes. Yay. Okay. Okay. I'll go back. Okay. So if your solar plex is totally open, there's no gates at all, that is, you are taking in the energy of everyone else. There's no definition there. And that is the place of your greatest wisdom as well, right? Like any place, our defined energy is what feels most congruent for us. It feels like, yes, this is me, but our white open centers, open places are where we can be incredibly wise when we've learned to understand that energy, right? If you know how to deal with the onslaught of emotional energy coming on and you can handle it and you can find the wisdom in it, that is amazing. Yes, I feel, yeah, it is your greatest place of wisdom. Absolutely. Absolutely. Undefined solar plex. My entire work is based on emotions. Oh, yes, that definitely helps for sure, Christina. Like, and not to say that because if you are undefined, you can't talk about emotions. Not at all. Not saying that at all. But um, people with defined generally feel more comfortable talking about it. But that's obviously, again, like all of this is through your own filter. And I am here to help support you in what you feel is your truth and what you want to share. So say that. Okay. Sweet. All right. Case study is my dear friend, Lisa. She's a projector. She has feng shui and energy, and she has a defined throat with a 1333 channel. And anytime she tells stories of her past, like her experiences, like she doesn't have to do anything. Like people just magically come to her when she does this. It's really fun to watch, actually. Anytime that she wants to do a program with her energy work that she does, she'll go into her group, share her story, and people gravitate to her and like just come into her programs because she's sharing her story, because she has that channel. So I love that. I love watching her. She's so fun. Okay. Mercury gate. Our Mercury gate is the gate of communication. And it is one of those, I mean, I feel that Mercury, I would say in messaging, it's your type, it's your throat, and then it's Mercury in terms of the hierarchy of what should you dive into. Mercury's third, in my opinion. It's important, but there are other things that are more important. But that being said, let's get into Mercury. Okay. So this is Mercury right here. This guy looks like I don't know I call it a person because it's like the head, the body, and then it's got horns on it. I don't know. that is your Mercury. I generally look at the conscious personality side first and see how that resonates. If that's feeling sticky, then I'll come over to the design side or the unconscious side and look at that number. Now, if it's feeling sticky, it probably means that you're in the lower frequency of that gate and you haven't learned the higher frequency just yet. But if we're looking at it, say gate 13, the lower frequency is stuck in old stories and holding onto the pain of the past. The higher frequency is using your story to transcend pain into power. There are two ways that I use the Mercury gate. One is to share a story on my own experience going from the low frequency to the high frequency, from the low to high. And I can use that on my about page. I can use that in content, and it's just my way of communicating. So I could talk, this isn't my chart, but I could talk about old stories and how I used to hold on to this really painful thing that happened to me, but then I learned how to transcend it. And now it's become gold, that kind of thing. That will connect me to the people that are my people. I also use it as a mission statement and infusing a piece of this into my mission. And so this one would be pain into power. So thinking about helping people, I want to help people turn their pain into power as a mission statement. A client asked me today, how do I use, like, where do mission statements go? They don't go anywhere other than if you want to put them on a sticky note on your computer. And this is the thing you are showing up every day because this is your why. This is your mission in your business and why you are here to help people. So you can look at the conscious side, you can look at the unconscious side, both together, kind of up to you. I'm obviously not going to go into all the gates because that's a lot. But again, that goes in inside the program. We get into all of those gates. Case study is Michelle. She's a generator. We work together to on her group program for helping moms reset and find themselves again. Her Mercury gate is 37 and sustainable peace. So in her messaging on her sales page, we incorporated by sharing how a lot of the time, her pain that her ideal client was dealing with was looking outside of themselves, trying to fix things, right? And so we changed a lot of the messaging to be around, you can't look outside of yourself to fix it. We have to first look inside and find that peace in you first and foremost. And then you can go out and be the mom that you want to be, right? And she was able to sell out her first round of her program. Okay. Then our last step that we're talking about today, and this is Dreamboat client language. Now, I think a lot of people talk about pain points, desires, that kind of thing. And I look at it a little differently, because we have to be aware of our ideal client's awareness level. Where are they at in their own awareness? Are they problem aware? Are they solution aware? And the way I've learned to simplify this process is to ask a different question. Instead of asking, what is my ideal client struggling with? What are their pain points? We ask, what are they no longer willing to put up with? That's the question that we ask. What are they no longer willing to put up with? And what this does is it gives us the unwanted experiences that they have right now, that they are motivated to fix. Because we buy solutions to problems. And even if you're in the more woo, like life coaching, we still buy solutions to problems. So identifying the unwanted experience allows us to tap into the thing that they are motivated to fix. And that's what we want. We want people solution aware, that they are like, I'm done dealing with XYZ and I want someone to help me. That's who we want to be attracting, right? Not the people, not the fence sitters, not the people that are like, maybe next year or whatever. We want the people that are like, no, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm ready. I'm going to buy this thing. I'm going to invest. Like, yeah, they're no longer willing to put up with. Exactly. So we do have to be mindful of specifics, and more specific, the better. And I will always say that like your unique selling point, that piece that we talked about earlier, doesn't necessarily have to be super niched. It can be pretty broad, but any offer, that's when we're looking at niching and going, who are we talking to? Who is this person that you want in here? If you're like, oh, they want to be more confident. No, we want to know exactly who we want in this container to be able to speak to her directly. And so we're going to be mindful of specifics. And the other thing I want to say is not doing something isn't a problem. So a lot of times they'll say, well, they're not taking action. That's not the problem. The problem is they're doing laundry and color coding their books instead of writing a post. That's what they're doing and not what they're not doing. Does that make sense? Some examples are like avoiding the gym because of how they look. They're tired of looking at everyone else, wondering how they have it all together. They can't stand the thought of writing, create your website again on their to-do list. Like these are things that they're like, I'm done dealing with this. I don't want to do it anymore. Okay. And then if we look at their desires, what is that domino desire that if this is fixed, everything else falls into place? If I could just what? If I could just get more clients, if I could just get my butt to the gym, where can I look at my human design to find the most aligned clients and their desire? So this is more experience-based. We can look at the gates and go, well, what would motivate them? Would be your moon sign, things like that. I have found that it's more, who do you want to work with? Who freaking lights you up to work with? Who makes you so energized after talking with them and helping them that you can't help but feel giddy after the conversation, right? And this sometimes does take trial and error of, well, I think it's this person. And so you narrow in and you have a session with that person and you're like, oh, actually, it's not who it is. And you need to change it. If you're super, super new in business, it is a little bit of trial and error to figure out who you want to work with. But if you've had experience, you can look back and go, and another caveat is if you are a year or two in and you've worked with all kinds of different people, you don't have to work with all kinds of people moving forward. You can so say you had a couple of really, really great clients and a couple of really, really bad clients. Who are the really great clients? Let's look at them. What are their situations that they don't want to deal with anymore? What are their domino desires and attracting more of them, right? Are we always attracted to the opposite? What do you mean, Adrian? Like opposite human sign types, opposite what? I totally get it. I was trying to find a shortcut. Yep, sorry, no shortcuts. Pick one person. And here's the thing. This is why committing to something for a period of time is so helpful, because even if you say 90 days, I am going to create a container for one specific person for 90 days. I'm going to sell the hell out of it. And I'm going to see what happens at the end of that. Right? Treating it like an experiment can be it takes the weight off of what you're doing. It doesn't feel like this is like live or die. This is just an experiment. What if I did this? Right? Okay. The domino desire. If I could just what, right? Oh, Karen. No, 3 p.m. today. There will be a replay. Sorry that you got confused on the time. Yeah. I think it goes both ways. We like to feel the spark of electromagnetic. Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. So if I could just what? What would that domino desire be for them? Your offer needs to be that core promise, right? If you can link the core promise to their domino desire, that's where the gold is. That's where they're like, "Ooh, that's what I want. You just read my mind. That's what I want. And you're solving my problem that I don't want to deal with anymore. Where do I sign up?" And then bonus points, if you can take those benefits, we all talk about benefits in your offers and link them back to the problems that you discovered. And don't worry, I'll give you an example. Okay, so here's a case study. Christina had a 9-month program, which honestly is not something I recommend a newbie person creating a 9-month container. You should definitely be well experienced before doing something of such length, because there's just a lot. There's a lot. Don't do it. Do a more like 4 or 6 week container. It's really specific. Okay. So her 9-month container was about self-care system that empowers women to take back their life. Pretty vague. Her previous message was they want to live their life and feel empowered and feel confident in who they are. And right now they're exhausted and run down. Like that's like everybody in life, right? It's not specific. It's not telling me anything. So we figured out what their domino desire was, and it was to live the life like waking up and she's actually super excited, right? She's making changes in her life that she once thought were impossible, and she takes care of herself first without guilt, and her relationships have benefited. So, and sorry, the pain, we started there. Sorry. The things that they don't want to put up with anymore was she's so overexhausted by 6 p.m. She's scrolling Instagram. She feels unseen in relationships, and the spark has gone out, and she wants to change, but doesn't know what to do first. So we took those unwanted experiences and found the domino desire and linking the benefits back to her pain and what she's no longer willing to put up with. Does that make sense? Okay. Sweet. Okay. Now, here's a pitch, guys. I mean, you knew it was coming. Who wants to attract more clients? You want to know? You want to know all about it? I'm excited to share because I love it. I think it's the bee's knees. So the Magnetic Messaging Club is a 4-month program for coaches and service pros who want to clarify their unique magnetic message using human design. We're going to go from overthinking, attracting those crappy clients, and confidently sharing your message and attracting the dream boat clients, those ones, right? That's what we're doing. And it's for you if you know that you get fantastic results for your clients, but you're struggling to articulate it, right? Your message isn't consistent. You're only writing when you feel inspired. Your work is deep. Oh my gosh, I love the people that have deep, deep results. And therefore, their messaging ends up super high level. And like, we're going to quantum leap. We're going to be your next level self, right? You'll get lots of people saying, I resonate with this, but not enough people saying, I'm in and I'm buying, right? And if you're selling the work, this is for the people that sell the shadow work, the process, right? It's important to understand what your process is, but we're not selling the process. We're not selling the rewiring of the brain. We're not selling the shadow work, right? We're selling the solution to a problem. And they're trying to convince people instead of actually speaking to people that want their work, right? And of course, you have a gift and deeply desire to help the planet. The more people that are happy and fulfilled, the better, right? That's how I feel. Inside the container, we're going to be clarifying your unique selling point based on your human design, and we're going to be applying it to your messaging. And what that looks like, there's a roadmap that shows you what your unique selling point is and how to apply it to your offers and to your website and sales pages and all those fun things. And we're going to really be honing in on your level 10 dreamy clients for your offers, and creating a strategy around that messaging, right? So we're not just airy-fairy writing whenever we feel like it. We actually have structure and it's actually consistent. So at the end, you have that unique core message that is confident, that you are confident in selling, right? The logistics are bi-weekly group Zoom calls on Tuesdays. We have a Facebook group where I will audit all of your writing for you. There's templates, frameworks for writing everything if you want. You don't have to use them, but they are there. And short videos, all understanding the basics of copywriting, more videos and PDFs diving into your human design so you can understand that better, along with me there helping you understand it. And there's 2 levels. All of that is the basic. There's actually only 5 spots left in that. And there's only 1 VIP spot left. And the VIP also has a monthly 1-to-1 call to dive even deeper into your specific situation and get my eyes on your work. So that is it, my friends. Thank you so much for spending this hour with me. I actually finished in an hour. I'm really proud of myself. So much for coming. I am so grateful. If you have questions, please drop them. I'm happy to answer them and stick around for a little while if you have more questions. I'm going to be emailing links about the club and the replay and the slideshow and all that afterwards. So, oh, good. Yay. Wonderful. You're welcome, ladies. Beautiful. You're welcome. Great. I love it. Well, sweet. There's nothing else, no questions. I'll sign off, but thank you so much for being here and spending this hour with me. I greatly appreciate it, and I hope you learned a lot. Bye now.